stop allowing yourself to accept less. It's 2022. There are ways to make money doing something that you love. Get it together. Welcome to Digital Biz Talk Podcast with Brianna. I am super excited because this is our first episode. Y'all, when I tell you that this podcast has been a long time coming, I have even put out a few ghetto versions, but this is going to be the official first episode. And when I say ghetto, I just mean just all over the place. My concept have been all over the place. But I think I finally found the perfect setup, the perfect backdrop, and really the perfect strategy, seeing as though I've always wanted a YouTube channel, I've always wanted a podcast, I've tried to dibble and dabble in both, and I was like, why not just make a show that will work for both? I want it to be actually on the visuals so that you can see me on my YouTube channel, and then also audio. I'm Brianna LeVay. I am a wife and a mother and a big sister, a certified business coach, a brand strategist, and a designer. I fell into the world of graphic design by being a virtual assistant, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all more about my story and how I even came across being a virtual assistant a little bit later in this episode. Once I started being a virtual assistant, I realized that I loved branding, and so it brought me down this path of branding and learning the ins and outs of how to grow a business. I have been whether it's a freelancer or a business owner for the last 7 years, and I am absolutely excited to have a consistent space to share my journey because I've been going through it. I have been through the ups, the downs, the burnouts, the good phases. I have been through it all in this entrepreneurial journey that I've had, and now it is finally time for me to sit down and give you the digital scoop, like what's going on in the digital world. I always have my ear to the streets when it comes to social media, to marketing, to tech, to just the business industry in general. I'm always testing out new tools, new products. I'm just in the entrepreneur world because that is my world. That is where I have lived for the last 7 years. I am super excited to have a place that I can just give all these lessons, blessings, and gems that I have picked up along the way and continue to pick up. If you know, the entrepreneur journey is one that, you're always learning, you're always having a lesson, you're always having a blessing. It's just a cycle of crazy madness, but if you're an entrepreneur, you know that we can't live without it. Your mindset is going to undergo a complete makeover. It'll be a complete 180 of what your mindset was pre-entrepreneurship. The Mindset Minute is where I encourage you to take a minute to reset your mindset and overcome some of those mental obstacles that you've been facing daily. For today's Mindset Minute, I want you to think about this. Are you doing something that you love? I believe that you can do just about anything that you love and make money from it. It's 2022. There are ways to make money doing something that you love. Okay, get it together. Stop going into these jobs that you don't like. Stop going into these situations that you don't like. Stop allowing yourself to accept less. You are worth more. Listen, I have seen so many different things get monetized, y'all. If we can sell a random assortment of things from the kitchen, slap a label on it and sell it on TikTok, I'm sure that you can find something that you love. Remember, you can do anything. Almost anything can make you money. Almost anything can be a business, and you can create the absolute life that you want. That was today's Mindset Minute. I hope that ideology will help you start to reframe your mindset because it really is true. Be happy with what you do for a living when you wake up in the morning. So I encourage you to think a little bit more about what it is that you like and what it is that you love and what you would love to wake up and do every day, something that wouldn't feel like a job. Once you find that, I need you to figure out how to monetize it. So I'm turning 26 in September, and I decided that I want to read a book a month during my 26th year. I have not really done a lot of reading and honestly don't know how this is going to go, but I want to invite you to join me in reading a book a month. So I'm making it a part of this podcast. I'm going to share what my book is, and then I'm going to share a few details about the book in the coming weeks as I'm reading the book. Hopefully it's a book a month, but honestly, if it's a book every other month, I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I haven't been reading any books. So one book every other month is better than 0 books every month. The book I'm choosing to read is Atomic Habits. The Atomic Habits is by James Clear. And the reason why I'm choosing to read this book first is because I really do need to get kind of those strong, solid strategies in place for building good habits and good routines. In my 26th year, I do have some goals, and I'll share those in a later episode, but I do have some goals. One of them is going to be reading one book a month, but also I have some really strong goals around developing better habits and routines. So I want to start with this book. I think it would be a great way to start developing the habit of reading a book by learning about habits. So I will be updating you in the coming weeks on how this book is going. And yeah, if you want to read this book with me, I definitely encourage you to go ahead, read it with me. I think it's on Audible. I purchased it in Walmart. I'm sure it's on Amazon. Read the book with me so that way we can come back every week and kind of have our little weekly catch up. And also, you can, if you don't want to read the book, because I get it, if you don't, I get it. You can come back every week and get your updates so you can get these gems as well about how to build strong habits. Okay, so I got started being a virtual assistant because I was home one summer from college and I needed a job. After getting fired from 2 jobs, I found virtual assisting through like Pinterest, and I stumbled across the website Fiverr, and I was literally opened up to a whole new world. Now, I have to tell y'all the ghetto-ness of getting fired from 2 jobs. The first job I worked at eDegree, and what we did at eDegree is we called random people and asked them if they wanted to go back to school. Now, either people were hanging up on you or they just weren't answering the phone. Most of the time, people did not answer, and they hung up on you when she said, "Hi, this is Brianna calling from eDegree. Would you like to such blah blah blah?" And it's like, no. And I don't even answer unknown numbers myself, so I don't even know why I was doing that. But anyway, so got fired from that job because you had to meet a certain quota of the people who got all the way through the process. So they had a process where you call the number, let's say the person answers the phone, then there's a script on the screen. You got to go through the whole script. You got to get them to kind of fill out this form. You got to go through and fill out the answers that they're telling you and all of that. And you got to get all the way to the end to where you can offer them like some schools that they can go to. And so you had to meet a quota of actually getting a certain amount of people all the way to the end. Well, I didn't meet my quota. I probably got like one person all the way to the end at the end of a 2-week span. And they were like, yeah, it doesn't seem like you're a good fit. So they fired me. And then I applied to work at this daycare. They loved me and they let me come work in there. And I also had to get all of these different little, when you work in a daycare, you have to get all these different little things. You got to get fingerprinted. You got to get a TB test. You got to get a background check, a this and a that. And what the lady didn't tell me is that all this stuff costed money. It costed about $80 and it was like far away from me, the places that I had to go. I didn't have a car at the time. I also didn't know how to drive. So that was wonderful. And one day while I was leaving the place to get one of the little tests done that I had to get done for this job, the director called me and she was like, you haven't been, like, she fussed me out, y'all. She was like, you have not did any of the stuff you were supposed to do, and we let you work here and you're not showing your interest in the job. And I'm like, I'm literally getting the stuff right now, the scrape of the money. I had to get a ride. Like, I'm literally trying. And she, like, we were going back and forth because I'm telling her, like, I'm trying, lady. Like, I'm literally doing stuff for this shit right now. And she didn't care. She told me to not to come back and whatever. So I wrote a strongly worded email to the daycare franchise, the daycare owner, the daycare director, all of that, looked up the little statutes and codes and all of that for the daycare system in my state. And I was like, y'all broke this code, and this code by letting me work in here without all of these items. And I will need to receive my check for the hours that I did work, as well as I'm gonna need y'all to run me that $80 back that I spent. And the owner actually reached out to me like literally the next day, and she was like, what do you want? Like, what about? I already told you what I want. I want my money. And that's it. And she gave me my money, and sad little Brianna was back at square one, and I had to figure out what to do. I knew I really didn't want to work a job that summer because the transportation wasn't looking the best, and it just wasn't really like, it needed to be either work at home or it needed to be something like what I found, like being a virtual assistant. So I found being a virtual assistant. I signed up for the Fiverr account. I signed up for the Upwork accounts, and I eventually got my first few clients. I also got one of my first clients from YouTube because I literally used to go under people's videos who were talking about being a virtual assistant and comment, hey, if anybody needs a virtual assistant, you can contact me here, here, here. That is so like, no, you can't do that these days. Back in 2015, it was a little bit more acceptable on YouTube, but even then, like, it was given spammy. But I want to say I got like 2 or 3 good clients from doing that. But look, if you're watching this and you're trying to be a virtual assistant now, please don't do that. People will frown on you, and the climate is different. These people is real different, okay? So they might put you on TikTok if you try to go into their stuff and advertise your business, okay? So just stick to your own channels for advertising. Don't be like me. So once I got my first few clients, I eventually decided, okay, like, this is definitely a thing. I want this to be a business for me. And by this time I was already back in college. So I turned it into a business. I made a website and I just went full out with it. I did that for probably about a year or two. And then I transitioned into being branding focused. One of my virtual assistant clients came along and she was like, I really need somebody for branding. Like, I need somebody to help me with graphics and all that stuff. And I was just like, I love doing that. Like, that's my dream. Like, that's what I want to do. And that client literally sparked the trajectory of me changing my business and being like, I just want to focus on branding. Between the virtual assistant, the branding, I've also done social media management and probably everything else in between, y'all, because when I was a virtual assistant, I was getting clients left and right because I was telling them people I could do everything. Now, I ended up burning out because I shouldn't have been doing that, but I was in a hustle, grind type of situation. Like, look, I got you. I know how to learn all these platforms, and I can do that. Yes, if you need it done, I can do it. So I'll talk more about my burnout journey because I've burned out like 4 different times as an entrepreneur in a later episode. But I just want to say that finding out that I could be a virtual assistant and start my own thing at home really, really changed my life. I mean, for the last 6 or 7 years, I have been doing this. And in 2018, I actually quit my job and I was like, bye bye. And I went full time. And as much as this has been a journey, my business continues to bless me over and over and over and over and over and over again. I want to expand your mind to the fact that there is so many different ways that you can make money online, so many different ways that you can make money passively, so many products that you can sell, so many different ways that you can sell services. And there's so many services that even if you don't know how to do it, you can absolutely learn without going to school. You can learn from YouTube University and Google University. My gift to you in this episode, I'm going to tell you 5 work from home side hustles that you can start with little to no money. Okay, so the first one, of course, is being a virtual assistant. What I want you to understand about being a virtual assistant is that there are different niches. You can literally niche down as a virtual assistant and focus on specific areas, or you can be a general virtual assistant and kind of operate with businesses more as their admin assistant. Number 2 is a social media manager. You can, if you live on social media, then think about starting a side hustle where you are managing the social media accounts of these brands. There are lots of beginner businesses who need social media managers who have a budget for a social media manager and would love to have a newbie on their team to manage those day-to-day social media tasks so you can get your feet wet. If you already have experience with social media or marketing, then you can go full out and become a social media manager. The third one is drop shipping. I have heard a lot of mixed things in the waters about drop shipping, but drop shipping is still very much alive. Currently, my favorite way to set up my clients with drop shipping is to do nice t-shirt and accessory designs and send them off through a platform like Printify, where they print the shirts or the mugs, the cups, the sweatshirts, the long sleeve t-shirts, the short sleeve t-shirts. They print the products, they print your design on the products, and they ship them directly to the client. And all you're left to do is collect that passive income and make sure your marketing is tight and right. The other way that I love drop shipping right now is through Amazon KDP. If you want to get into making journals and workbooks and planners and different things like that, Amazon KDP has a platform where you can go onto for free. There is no upfront cost to you, and you can upload your book designs. Super easy, y'all. You can make them on Canva. I actually have a full Amazon KDP video on my channel if you want to learn a little bit more about that. You can go on Amazon KDP, upload your book or journal or workbook or planner, and it will actually circulate and be sold on their platform. And when somebody purchases on Amazon, they print, they ship, and you get your money on the back end. It's super crazy, simple, passive stuff. The fourth thing is being a graphic designer. This one's close to my heart because that's pretty much what I have done for the majority of my entrepreneurial journey is design. Graphic designer / brand designer. If you're just starting out, you're probably going to start as a graphic designer doing more projects, little things here and there. You might be doing a flyer. You might be doing a business card design, or you could be doing a website, a logo, a full branding package. But either way, being a graphic designer, if you are creative, even if you don't have formal training, y'all, I didn't start with formal training on any of this stuff. I didn't. I just learned and got better along the way. And now I look at my designs from back in the day and I'm like, ooh, that was ugly. But back then it was beautiful to me, and it was also beautiful to other people. So there are people out there who really want to interact with you as a creative and have you create for their brands wherever your skill level is right now. And the fifth thing is opening an Etsy store. On Etsy, you can literally sell everything. You can go the digital product route. You can go the handmade product route where you're doing things like with your Cricut machine or with a sublimination printer. I know the girlies are loving sublimination and Cricut machines right now. So if you have one, you can definitely make something and sell from there. I've also seen people sell services on Etsy, and everything else in between, y'all. If you make clothes, if you have a clothing line, going back to number 3, if you want to drop ship stuff, you can add that to Etsy. And the reason why I say start an Etsy store is because Etsy has their own marketplace. Etsy has their own name. Etsy does the ads for you. Etsy does the advertising for you because they are already a well-known platform that people know, like, and trust. So having your stuff up there when there are already millions of people searching on Etsy a day gives you a better chance of being seen by an audience that you don't necessarily have to interact with. Your Etsy listings need to have the proper keywords so that we can make sure you're showing up in the Etsy search results. But it's a great way to get some additional eyes on your stuff and even some sales. The first month I had my Etsy store open, I made $600 just from the first month, just from putting my stuff up there and leaving it and not even worrying about it. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Digital Biz Talk podcast, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. I am more than excited to be here, more than excited to keep this going, and more than excited to see you back here next week for the next episode of Digital Biz Talk podcast. Bye.